vitamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Śrīvāsadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for your kind association. Let's get started with our study of Śrīmad Bhāgavatam in the Bhakti Vaibhava course. Let's recite our verses for module 2. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Uddama bhava pishuna malaval guhasa vridavaloka nihato madano piyasam sammuiha chapamajahat pramadottamasta yasyendriyam vimathitum kuhakaina shekuhu bhavadvidha bhagavata stirtha bhuta swayam vibho tirthi kurvanti tirthani swantastena Gadabhrita Tulayam lavenapi na swargam na punarbhavam Bhagavat sangi sangasya martyanam kimutashishaha Tiraskrita vipralabdhaha shaptaha kshipta hata api Nasya tat pratikurvanti tad bhaktaha prabhavopihi Punascha bhuyad bhagavatanante rati prasangascha tadashrayeshu mahatsuyamyam upayami shrishtim maitrastu sarvatra namo dvijebhyah. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are going to read from Granthara Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 11, entitled Lord Krishna's Entrance in Dwarka, text number 32 onwards. Shri Suta Goswami is describing to Shaunak Ādi Rishis about Krishna's entrance into Dwarka after the Kurukshetra war. Krishna has come to Dwarka. All the inhabitants of Dwarka are besides themselves in joy. Their joy is exploding uncontrollably. They have been feeling such intense separation from Krishna for so many months. And now Krishna has finally returned. They are very happy, blissful, ecstatic. They come to greet Krishna. Krishna reciprocates with all of them according to their relationship with Krishna. And now it is the turn of Krishna's beloved wives, 16,108 wives, Rukmini, Satyabhama, Jambavati, etc. How they are going to meet the Lord. So that brings us to verse number 32. This is also a very special verse, very important verse. Tam atmajair drishtibhir antaratmana duranta bhava parire bhire patim niruddham asravadambu netrayor vilajjatinam bhriguvarya Vaibhava. Translations and purports by our beloved founder Acharya Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Śrīmad Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada. Translation: the insuperable ecstasy, the uncontrolled, super excellent ecstasy was so strong that the queens who were shy, they were very shy. Vilajjatina, lajja means shyness. The queens were very shy, but their ecstasy was so great upon seeing Krishna. Their bhav, duranta bhava, their ecstasy was so great that even though they were shy, they first embraced Krishna in the innermost recesses of their hearts. Parire bhire patim, they embraced Krishna in the core of their heart, not physically, because other people were watching. So they embraced Krishna heart to heart, in the core of their hearts. Then they embraced Krishna visually, drishtibhir. They embraced through eyes, through the sun, looking at Krishna with their eyes. With their eyes, they embraced Krishna. Then they sent their sons, Atmaja. They sent their sons to embrace Krishna. Atmaja, the sons are born from the body of the wives of Krishna, the queens of Krishna. So they're called Atmaja. Ja means Janma, Atma means the self. The sons of Krishna, like Pradyumna, Sam, others, they were born from the body of the queens. So the queens sent their sons to embrace Krishna because the sons are an extension of their body. So they could not directly physically embrace Krishna, so they sent their sons. You go and embrace Krishna. And when the sons embraced Krishna, the mothers, the queens, felt as if they themselves had embraced Krishna. So in these three ways, the queens embrace Krishna. What are the three ways? By sending their sons and getting their sons to embrace Krishna. Number two, through their eyes. They're just looking at Krishna and through their eyes they embrace Krishna. And number three, they embrace Krishna within the core of their hearts, heart to heart. Three ways. Atmajaya means sun, Drishtibhi means with eyes, and Antaratmana means in the heart. See the first line. Tam means Krishna. They embrace Krishna how? Parire bhire patim. They embrace their husband Krishna how? Three ways. Atmajaya, by sending their sons. Drishtibhir, through their eyes. And Antaratmana means in the heart, in the core of their heart. They embrace Krishna. Three ways. Because of their duranta bhava, because of their insuperable ecstasy. Even though they were vilajjatinam, even though they were shy, but still, Vaibhava, they were forced by their ecstasy to embrace Krishna in these three ways. Not one way embrace, three way embraces. So let's read the verse again, very beautiful, worth memorizing this verse. How Krishna was embraced in three ways. Tam atmajair drishtibhirantaratmana duranta bhava parire bhire patim niruddham Niruddhamap asravadambunetrayor vilajjatinam bhriguvarya vaiklava. And also, even though they tried to control their feelings, Niruddhamap asravad ambu netrayor. They tried to control their feelings, the wives of Krishna, the queens of Dwarka. But their love for Krishna was so great, their ecstasy was so great, that asravat ambu netrayor. In their netra, in their eyes, there were tears of love, tears of ecstasy. They were overwhelmed with love. Oh, our Pati, our Krishna has come. Such was their bhav, that Duranta bhava, that asravad ambu netrayor, their eyes became filled with tears, even though they tried to control. Even though they tried to control. Vaiklava, just helplessly, tears came. This is love, my dear friends. Very beautiful verse. Tam atmajair drishti bhirantar atmana duranta bhava parire bhire patim niruddhama asravadambu netrayor vilajjatinam bhriguvarya vaiklava. Meditating on each and every word, we can memorize this verse and keep reciting it. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Although due to feminine shyness, there were many hindrances to embracing the dear husband, Lord Shri Krishna. The queens of Dwarka performed the act of embracing Krishna by seeing him, by putting him in the core of their hearts, and by sending their sons to embrace him. Still, the act remained unfinished, and tears rolled down their cheeks despite all endeavors to check them. Hare Krishna. This is Prem Dasha. I was thinking, even Srila Prabhupada is like that, because Srila Prabhupada is Krishna Premi Jan, Premi Bhakta. Srila Prabhupada, in his Antya Leela, 1977, he could barely stand up. He could not even walk. He was so weak. In the last few months, when he was in Shri Vrindavan Dham, Srila Prabhupada had to be carried for darshan in a palanquin. You have seen? If you go to Vrindavan, in Prabhupada's quarter, that palanquin is still preserved as it is. The palki, in which Prabhupada was taken for darshan every day. And after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, after Prabhupada entered Nitya Leela, Srila Prabhupada was taken to all the 7 Goswami temples in that palki. That palki is preserved as it is in the Prabhupada's house in Vrindavan Dham. So when Prabhupada was taken in front of Gaur Nitai, Krishna Balram, and Lalita Vishakha Radha Shyam Sundar, Prabhupada could not go on the altar and directly embrace Radha Shyam Sundar. He could not because of his health. Srila Prabhupada could not directly go because he was also greeting the lordships every day. And Srila Prabhupada has such love for Krishna. But he could not go on the altar and embrace Radha Shyam Sundar. So what did Prabhupada do? Atmajar. He sent his own children, the disciples, his own sons and daughters as pujaris on the altar to serve and dress Krishna. Drishtibhir, and he would come for darshan, and through his eyes he would behold Radha Shyam Sundar, Krishna Balram, Gaur Nitai, and embrace them. And Antaratmana, of course, in the core of his heart, Srila Prabhupada is embracing Krishna heart to heart. So this Tam Atmajar Drishtibhir Antaratmana, Srila Prabhupada also did. This is the way of love. Text 33. Yadyap asau parshvagato raho gatas tathapi tasyangri yugam navam navam pade pade ka virameta tatpada chalapi yashrir na jahati karhiche. Another beautiful verse. Although Lord Shri Krishna was constantly by their sides as well as exclusively alone, his lotus feet appeared to them to be newer and newer every day. Yadyap asau parshva gato raho gatas. Although they were living parshva gata, just by the side, raha gata, and alone also they would stay in the palace. Tathapi, but still, Tasyangri, Krishna's Tasyangri Yugam, Krishna's two lotus feet, Navam Navam, appeared Navam Navam, ever new. Aisa nahi ki, oh, we have seen Krishna's feet so many times. No, every time they would look at Krishna's lotus feet. Krishna's lotus feet had become more and more beautiful. Navam Navam, Pade Pade Ka Virame Tatat Padaj. The goddess of fortune, Shri, she is referred to as Shri. Chalapi. Chalapi means she's chapal. She keeps moving. Chalapi yat shrir na jahati karhiche. Even though Shri Lakshmi is very chapala, she goes here and there. She doesn't stay in one place for long. Jahati karhichit. Na jahati karhichit. But she could not quit the association of Krishna's lotus feet. The goddess of fortune, although by nature always restless, moving here and there, could not quit Krishna's lotus feet. So what woman can be detached from Krishna's lotus feet, having once taken shelter of them? Srila Sutta Goswami is asking this rhetorical question. Who can give up the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet once they have taken shelter? Krishna's feet are Dine Dine Navam Navam. Every day they appear newer and newer. Krishna's beauty is always newer and newer. Navam Navam. Not like the beauty of this world, which becomes stale and old. Purport. Conditioned living beings are always after the favor of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi Ji. Although by nature, Lakshmi Ji is moving from one place to another. In the material world, no one is permanently fortunate. Goddess of fortune keeps moving. That is her nature. She's Chanchal. We say Chanchal Lakshmi. Don't we say? Chanchal Lakshmi. So therefore, nobody is permanently fortunate in this material world because Goddess of fortune is Chanchal. She keeps moving about. But everybody is looking for the favor of Goddess of fortune. Therefore, we see so much Lakshmi Puja. People worship Lakshmi Ji because they want money. Further down in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that there have been so many big empires. The Roman Empire, the Ottoman Empire. Then there have been so many leaders and dictators like Hitler and Mussolini and others. They have come and gone. And all their wealth is gone. Because Lakshmi Ji is Chanchal by nature. According to Brahma Samhita, Lord Krishna is served with respect by hundreds and thousands of goddesses of fortune. Chintamani prakhara sadmashu kalpa vriksha lakshavrateshu surabhira vipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra shata sambrama sevyamanam Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Lakshmi sahasra shata sambrama with respect. Sevyamanam, she's serving. Still, the association of Krishna is so inspiringly newer and newer that the goddesses of fortune cannot quit Lord Krishna's association even for a moment. Shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahename. The spiritual relation with Krishna is so enlivening and resourceful that no one can leave the company of Krishna once having taken shelter of it. Therefore, once we go to Krishna, we never fall down again. Yad gatva nanivartante tad dhama paramam. Because Krishna is so wonderful, nobody wants to leave him once they have experienced the sweetness of Krishna. Next paragraph. The living beings are by constitution feminine. By nature, the living entity is feminine. So Jiva is feminine. Living beings are feminine by nature. The male or the enjoyer is always the male, Purusha, and that is Krishna. Whereas we are being Shakti, we are feminine. जीवेरा स्वरूप है नित्यरा कृष्णेरा नित्य दास कृष्णेरा तटस्था शक्ति भेदा भेद प्रकाश. We are कृष्णेरा तटस्था शक्ति, and therefore we are feminine. In the Bhagavad Gita, the living beings are designated as para prakriti or the superior potency. The material elements are apara prakriti or inferior potency. According to Bhagavad Gita, the 8 elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego, are apara prakriti, bhinna prakriti, apara prakriti, jada prakriti. It's matter. Whereas the jiva is para prakriti. It is the higher energy, transcendental prakriti. Superior potency. The material elements are apara. The supreme enjoyer is Krishna himself. Bhoktaram yatna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram. Next paragraph, second line. Since Lord Krishna is the supreme enjoyer of everything in or outside the universe, it is happiness to be employed by Krishna. See, my dear friends, what Srila Prabhupada is saying is, the greatest enjoyer, the greatest personality, the greatest controller of this universe is Krishna. Therefore, to be employed by Krishna is a great pleasure for a devotee. For example, everyone wants to be employed in the Fortune 500 company, correct? Or Fortune 100 companies. Everybody feels very proud. Oh, I work for Google, or I work for Tesla or Apple. I work for Microsoft. I work at Amazon. When you work at all these big companies, there is a certain pride associated with that. I am working for a top company, isn't it? So Srila Prabhupada is saying, how much more fortune it is to be employed by Krishna. I am Krishna's servant. I am Krishna's servant. There may be a simple pujari in the temple who probably doesn't even have a salary, doesn't have much money, but he's directly employed by Krishna. And we are here sitting proud, Grahasthas. I'm making so much, my package is so much, I'm earning so many dollars. I'm working for this company, that company. We have pride. And the humble pujari in the temple is actually much more advanced than us, because he's employed by Krishna directly. He's bathing Krishna, he's dressing Krishna, he decides which jewelry Krishna will wear. Such a fortunate position. Prabhupada is saying like that. So, how much more great it is to be employed by Krishna. Being employed by Krishna makes us extremely happy. Then one need not seek the moving, Chanchal, goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, without the relationship of Lord Krishna. We should not worship Lakshmi without Narayan. We should not worship Radharani without Krishna. And we should not worship Krishna without Radharani. They are always together. To want Krishna without Radharani is Shurpanakha mentality. And to want Radharani without Krishna is Ravan mentality. We want Krishna's good fortune, Krishna's money, but we don't want to serve Krishna. We want that money for ourselves. That is Ravan mentality. And to want Krishna without Radharani is Shurpanakha mentality. She wanted Ram without Sita. Therefore, she wanted to kill Sita. That is also a demoniac mentality. Text 34. Evam dripanam kshitibhara janmanam aksho hinibhi parivreta tejasam vidhaya vairam shvasano yathanalam mitho vadheno parato nirayudha. Lord Krishna was pacified after killing those kings who were burdensome to the earth They were puffed up with their military strength, their horses, elephants, chariots, infantry, etc. He himself was not a party in the fight. He simply created hostility between the powerful administrators, and they fought amongst themselves. He was like the wind, which causes friction between bamboos, and so sparks a fire. Purport. The living beings are not factual enjoyers of things that are created by God. We are not the enjoyers. Krishna is the enjoyer because we are Prakriti, we are feminine, we are to be enjoyed, and Krishna is Purush. Lord Krishna is the genuine proprietor and enjoyer of everything. Bhoktaram Vidadapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Unfortunately, influenced by the deluding energy, the living being becomes a false enjoyer. When our intelligence is deluded, we consider ourselves the enjoyer, Bhokta, instead of Krishna. Deluded living beings increases his material strength by so many activities and thus becomes a burden of the earth. So one who thinks himself to be an enjoyer or proprietor is a burden on earth. Prabhupada is saying. Deluded living beings increases material strength by so many activities and thus becomes a burden of the earth. They think they are God. They collect so many possessions. It's all a burden on earth. Whereas when we offer those things to Krishna, then it becomes very pleasing to Mother Earth. This state of affairs is called Dharmasya Glanihi. Dharmasya Glanihi means people consider themselves enjoyers. When such misuse of human energy is prominent, the saner living beings become perturbed by the awkward situation created by the vicious administrators. What is the meaning of this? That the pious people find it difficult to live in such a hostile environment. Like Ravan, being a Rakshas, he used to chew and eat up sadhus, kacha. And there were so many demons like that who were doing that in Dandakaranya forest. Therefore, when Ram, Lakshman, Sita reached there, they saw a mountain of human bones. Lord Ramchandra asked the rishis, what is this? And the rishis told him there are many Rakshasas here in the forest and they take great pleasure in eating sadhus. Lord Ramchandra put his bow at that time and said, I take a vow, I will rid this forest of Dandakaranya of all the Rakshasas. Took a vow. So that was Srila Prabhupada is saying. When there is Dharmasya Glani, the impious people who consider themselves the enjoyers and proprietors, they increase. There is Dharmasya Glani. And the saner people, means the saintly people, the sadhus, find it very difficult to survive. That's when Krishna appears. That's when Krishna appears by his internal potency. Srila Prabhupada has written here. Lord Krishna appears by his internal potency just to save the devotees and to alleviate the burden of earth due to these sinful administrators. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya duskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge. Like that, Krishna comes whenever there is dharma glani. The unwanted administrators, puffed up by false power and military strength, thus become engaged in fighting amongst themselves over ideological conflicts and so exhaust themselves of all powers. This we have seen World War I, World War II. Millions and millions of people were killed, my dear friends. Millions and millions of people were killed. In the Twin Tower tragedy, 3,000, 4,000, 3,000 people died in the Twin Tower attack, 9/11. 3,000 people died. Now, in the World War, millions of people died, millions. So why? Because people were having ideological differences and they were fighting. Hitler was having a disagreement with Winston Churchill, for example. And so Mussolini, Hitler, they all ganged up together. Stalin, Russia, they ganged up together and they were attacking France, they were attacking UK, like that. Ideological difference. But what is the result? All of them, both the parties are demoniac. And they will just exhaust themselves, they'll kill themselves. The history of the world reflects this factual will of Lord Krishna, and it will continue to be enacted until living beings are attached to the service of Krishna. Unless everybody becomes a devotee, these types of wars will continue. because meat eating is going on, slaughterhouses are going on. So reaction will be there individually and collectively. Prabhupada says no one can establish peace and prosperity in the world by fruitive actions or by speculative philosophy or ideology. Bhukti, mukti, two margs are there. Karma kand, Jnana kand. And both of them cannot bring peace and prosperity in the world, Prabhupada is saying. The only way to bring peace and prosperity in this world is to surrender to Supreme Lord Krishna and thus become free from the illusion of the deluding energy, Maya Shakti. Unfortunately, persons who are engaged in destructive work, sinful work, are unable to surrender unto the Supreme Personality of God. This is a fact we have seen. Those who are unfortunate, those who are sinful, demoniac, Naham Prakasha Sarvasya, Logamaya, Yogamaya, Samavrita. Krishna is not visible to everyone. He chooses who he becomes visible to, and he's covered by his Yogamaya potency. So such people who are covered by the Mahamaya potency, who are deluded, they are Dushkritino people, they never surrender to the personality of Godhead. They never surrender. And they suffer the consequences. Avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubhashubham. We have to face the consequences of our actions. And Prabhupada says, example is Ravan, Hiranyakashipu, Kansa and others. They all rebelled against Krishna and they had to pay a heavy price for that. Text 35. Sa esha nara lokesmin avatirna swamayaya reme stri ratna kutastho bhagavan prakrito yatha. That Supreme Personality of Godhead Shri Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, appeared on this planet by his internal potency and enjoyed himself amongst competent women as if he were engaging in mundane affairs. Reme stri ratna kutastho. Stri ratna means the best women. Prabhupada says, translates it as competent women, the best among women. Krishna married. He lived just like a householder, Grihastha. But 16,108 wives in 16,108 palaces. That is very extraordinary. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes, third sentence, the women who became Krishna's wives are certainly not ordinary women, because to get the Lord as one's husband is the result of many, many millions of births, tapasya. To get Krishna as one's husband is a result of millions and millions of years of tapasya. Very difficult. Krishna displays his transcendental pastimes just to attract the conditioned souls to become his eternal servitors, parents, friends, lovers, respectively, in the transcendental world. So basically, Krishna displays his pastimes on this earth planet to attract our hearts so that we will also want to participate in his Dasya Leela, Sakhya Leela, or Vatsalya Leela, or Madhurya Leela. And what happens in the spiritual world? The Lord eternally reciprocates with such exchanges of service. In the spiritual world, everybody wants to serve Krishna in some way, and Krishna accepts that offering. How special is that? Krishna accepts that offering and thanks also. Conditioned souls are seeking perpetual happiness, see, Prabhupada says. But the relationships we have in the material world cannot make us perpetually happy. We are seeking continuous happiness, anandamayobhyas. It's the nature of the jiva to be continuously happy, and that's what we are seeking. But we are seeking it in the worldly relationships where we cannot get permanent happiness. Lord reciprocates with the exchanges of service. Service is pervertedly represented in the material world and broken untimely, resulting in sad experience. All the relationships we have in this world, my dear friend, they will be broken by the influence of time. And that will be source of great sorrow to us. But we are not looking for sorrow, we are looking for happiness. Anandamaya Bhasa. We are pleasure seeking. And the only way we can be happy is if we seek our pleasure in Krishna. Prabhupada says, even if one reaches the highest planet Brahmalok, he cannot attain that perpetual happiness, which is searching for life after life. When he comes, however, to his senses and seeks after Brahman happiness, knowing it for certain that unlimited happiness is never attainable in the material world. When we understand this, then we turn to Krishna. Then we turn to Krishna, and then Krishna helps us. Text 36. Uddama bhava pishuna malaval guhasa vridavalokannihato madano piyasam sammuyya chapamajahat pramadottamasta yasyendriyam vimathitum kuhakaina shekuhu. This is our memorization verse. So here it is said, although the queen's beautiful smiles and furtive glances were all spotless and exciting, the queens of Dwarka were very beautiful. And although they could conquer Cupid himself, they are so beautiful. Nihata Madana. Nihata means to conquer. Madana. They could conquer Cupid himself and make Cupid give up his Sammuya Chapam Ajahat. Chapam Ajahat. They could compel Cupid to give up his bow in frustration. Why? Because Cupid shoots his flower arrows with his bow at everyone in this material world, and we are completely conquered by lust. But Cupid himself was attracted and conquered by the beauty of the queens of Dwarka, and he could not attract them. Cupid could not attract or distract the hearts of the queens of Dwarka. He could not. Cupid could not, because the queens were too powerful. They are Krishna's queens. So in frustration, Cupid gave up his bow. And even though Lord Shiva is so tolerant, he could fall victim to them. Still, despite all their magical feats and attractions, the queens of Dwarka could not agitate the senses of Krishna. This is Krishna. His senses cannot be agitated. Purport. The path of salvation, or the path of going back to Godhead, always forbids the association of women, and complete Sanatan Dharma or Varnashram Dharma scheme forbids or restricts association with women. How then can one be accepted as a Supreme Personality of Godhead who is addicted to more than 16,000 wives? So Prabhupada is making a point that in spiritual life, in Sanatan Dharma, one is taught that there should not be unlimited mixing between the two genders. There should not be mixing. There are restrictions. So if this is so, how then, because Yadyad Acharya Shreshthas Tatta Deve Tarojana, the leaders are to be followed, then how, if we are by Sanatan Dharma supposed to keep away from women, maintain celibacy, how then can one accept Krishna as a Supreme Lord when he was addicted to more than 16,000 wives? He had 16,108 wives to whom he was very attached, with whom he was living. So how can Krishna be considered God if he is associating so much with women? That is the question Prabhupada is raising. This question may be relevantly raised, Prabhupada says. And to answer such questions, the sages at Naimisharanya have discussed Krishna's transcendental character in the following verses. And it will be clear. The whole universe is moving, being agitated by Cupid's arrow. The activities of the world are being carried on by the central attraction of male and female. Male is looking for a female, female is looking for a male, Prabhupada says. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna may have 16,108 wives. Krishna may dance in the middle of the night with millions of other Vraj gopis. And still Krishna is completely transcendental. In this regard, in Vrindavan, there is a place where across the Yamuna, where there is a Baitak of Durvasa Muni. What happened was, once Krishna came late for the Ras Leela, and Radharani asked him, "Why are you late, Krishna?" And Krishna explained that my Gurudev has come. A very great sadhu has come, and I had gone to take association of a great sadhu. And I went to serve him also. One should serve sadhus. It brings a good fortune in one's life. So the gopis, they are so obedient to Krishna. They said, "Oh, Sure, we would also like to serve your Guru, Durvasa Muni. Can we go and do that? So Krishna says, yes, you can go and do that. It's very nice to serve sadhus. So they tell Krishna, you wait, we'll go serve Durvasa Muni and we'll come. So they start going, but they realize that, they have to cross the Yamuna because Durvasa Muni is better on the other side of Yamuna. So they come back to Krishna and they say, hey Krishna, we were going to meet Durvasa Muni to serve him, but we have to cross the Yamuna and we don't know how to cross the Yamuna. So Krishna told the gopis that you just tell Yamuna that we want to go and meet Durvasa Muni who only eats durva grass. Please give way. So the gopis go to the bank of Yamuna and they tell Yamuna Devi, hey Yamuna Devi, we are going to meet Shri Durvasa Muni on the other side of the river. So please give way. And immediately Yamuna gave way. We want to serve Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni only eats durva grass. Please give way. And Yamuna gave way. So then the Vraj Gopis were very happy. And they went, crossed, just walked through, and they reached the other side and they found the place where Durvasa Muni was sitting. And this Baitak of Durvasa Muni is there today also in Vrindavan when we go. So they went and Durvasa Muni was there, and the gopis, they got all the paraphernalia to serve Durvasa Muni, and they made nice chappan bhog for Durvasa Muni. Nice big mountain of prasad. And they offered it to Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni said, oh, thank you. I was very hungry. Thank you for making this nice prasad. And he started eating. And he finished everything. All the chappan bhog that the gopis had prepared themselves for Durvasa. He ate everything and he was very happy. He said, ladies, I am very happy with you. Very happy with you. Now you can go. And they said, okay, we'll go, but we have to cross Yamuna. So can you tell us how we should cross Yamuna? Now the gopis are asking Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni said, how did you come then? So the gopis told the story that we asked Krishna, Sham Sundar, how we can cross Yamuna. And he told us that you just tell Yamuna that we want to meet Durvasa Muni who only eats durva grass. And we told that, and because it was the truth, Yamuna gave way and we crossed and we came here. But we saw that you ate chappan bhog. But anyway, please tell us how we can cross the Yamuna again and go back to Sham Sundar. Durvasa Muni smiled. He said, okay, again you go to the bank of the Yamuna and tell Yamuna that we want to go and meet Sham Sundar, Krishna, who is a Naishtik Brahmachari. So the gopis start giggling, under their palli. They said, wow, wow, wow. Jaisa guru, vaisa chela. The disciple also lied that tell Yamuna we want to go and meet Durvasa Muni who only eats durva grass. We saw what Durvasa Muni can eat, the hungry sadhu, how much he can eat. He gobbled up chappan bhog in no time. And now he's telling us to tell Yamuna ji that give way because we want to meet Krishna who is a Naishtik Brahmachari. Now we are very much aware of how Krishna is. He always embraces us, Alingan, Chumban. How he can be a Brahmachari? How he can be called a Brahmachari when he's associating with so many women like us? But anyway, Durvasa Muni has said, so the gopis go to Yamuna and they tell Yamuna Devi, hey Yamuna Devi, please give way because we are going to meet Krishna who is a Naishtik Brahmachari. And immediately Yamuna Rani, knowing it to be the truth, she gives way. So again the gopis, they cross, they go to Krishna, and now they are bewildered. They ask Krishna, Krishna, we want to ask you. And they tell him the whole story, how Yamuna Rani gave way both the times. So the gopis said, Yamuna will give way only when the truth is spoken. So how can you explain us how this can be true? Because Durvasa Muni, who is supposed to eat only durva grass, ate chappan bhog, and you who are supposed to be Naishtik Brahmacharis associating with so many of us, middle of the night you dance with us, how you can be Brahmachari? So Krishna said, I will explain to you. Durvasa Muni is not at all attached. He eats only durva grass when he's supposed to eat. And many times there is nobody to serve him. And he simply eats durva grass or doesn't eat anything at all. But when there are some faithful people who want to serve, do some sadhu seva, and they invite Durvasa Muni, whatever they give, they may give good food, they may give not so good food. Considering it to be durva grass, he eats it. He's not attached. Whether he gets chappan bhog or he gets no bhog, he has to fast. Durvasa Muni is detached. Similarly, I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead and I am Atmaram. I don't need any external either vastu, vyakti, or anything else for my pleasure. I don't need any external thing or person for my pleasure. I am Atmaram. But because all of you consider me to be your lover and you want to dance with me, you want to embrace me, you want to serve me in the Madhurya Ras, I happily reciprocate with all of you. I happily reciprocate with all of you. See, in the purport to verse 35, we saw Lord Krishna eternally reciprocates such exchanges of service and love. Because the gopis want to serve Krishna in that way, then Krishna becomes their lover, Krishna becomes a son, Krishna becomes a friend. Like that, Krishna is reciprocating. But actually, does Krishna need? No, Krishna is Atmaram. He doesn't need anything. He is the Vishaya Vigraha. He is the object of our service. He doesn't need us. We need Krishna. So, Srila Prabhupada says, those who are therefore on the path of salvation for going back home, back to Godhead, are especially advised by all scriptural instruction to become free from such paraphernalia of material attraction. And that is possible only by the association of the devotees of Lord Krishna, who are called Mahatmas. So, Prabhupada is saying that there is so much attraction of the opposite sex. Prabhupada is saying the whole universe is moving, being agitated by Cupid's arrow. The activities of the material world are being carried on by the central attraction of male and female. And we can become free from such attraction. Prabhupada is saying it is possible only by the association of the devotees of the Lord who are called Mahatmas. Vina Mahatpaja Rajobhishekam. Without serving the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, without being in Sadhu Sangha, we cannot protect ourselves from Maya. It is impossible. We need association of devotees. The queens, further down it is said, the queens could not satisfy Krishna by their feminine attractiveness, but they satisfied Krishna by their sincere affection and service. This is very important. It's not that Krishna was attracted and attached to his wives because they were beautiful. No. He was attracted by their bhakti. Prabhupada clearly says. They satisfied Krishna by their bhakti and service. So it doesn't matter how beautiful we are or whether we are not beautiful, how we look, whether we are rich, poor, doesn't matter. Krishna is pleased by our devotion. Krishna is pleased by our devotion. Okay? So we'll stop with this verse. We'll continue from verse number 37 day after tomorrow. So what are the important siddhantas we learned? That Krishna is Atmaram. But Krishna is so kind that even though he is Atmaram, he likes to reciprocate with his devotees, and because we want to serve him, Krishna accepts our service and he plays the role. He plays the role. So we'll stop here. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Kirtana Sundari Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanvat Pranams. Thank you, Prabhu, for the very wonderful session. Prabhu, I have a question in this last verse only that you said, Uddhama Bhava Pishuna Malav Valguhasa. In that it is written about Cupid, which is Madana, but Prabhupada also says Amadana as Shiva. So how come Amadana? Is Amadana another name of Lord Shiva?
So here, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that that word Nihato Madano That can be broken as a madan also. And a madana is a because mad means madness, and a madana means one who is dhir, one who is not mad. So a madana is a name of Lord Shiva, which means Shiva who is very tolerant.
Okay. So Madana is another name of Lord Shiva, right?
Lord Shiva.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, like while doing a devotional service, devotees also have some satisfaction and happiness. That means there is some enjoyment. So should devotional service not be enjoyed on the level of senses or subtle mind? It should be on the level of soul. Is that the perfection, Prabhuji? And then if there is some choice of devotional service, like I would like to do this seva, and that is also not on the perfect platform. And what is the perfect platform? Is that just be satisfied by doing any service and remember Krishna always, and not be passionate about any service? Is that false? Like being passionate about service. What is perfection?
The perfection is Radha Krishna Prityartha. Whatever we do it Radha Krishna Prityartha, for the satisfaction, for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. That is the perfection of service. There was, when we went to Vrindavan this time, Mataji, you were also there for the full parikrama. So there's a Baba, his name is Panjiri Baba. Panjiri is a dish. North Indians know. Ajay Govindru, you know Panjiri?
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Panjiri is a dish, North Indian dish. They make it. And so this is Panjiri Baba. So he's a Siddha Mahapurush. And he would do bhajan standing in Yamuna. Every day, 4 o'clock in the morning, he takes Yamuna Snan. And he would stand in Yamuna and chant Yugal Nam. Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, Radhe Shyam, till afternoon. And then he would come, he would do some madhukari, just beg little bit, and he would make panjiri with whatever. He would beg the items required to make panjiri. And he would make panjiri, and he had a dabba like this, maybe bigger than this, not so small, but bigger than this, little bit bigger, this much dabba. And he would, metal dabba, metal bowl, and a spoon. And he would call the Brajvasis and give them panjiri. And hundreds of Brajvasis would come, and that panjiri would be enough. It was inexhaustible. Akshay, like Akshay Patra. This is like a known fact. He is called Panjiri Wale Baba. He gives panjiri to everybody. Like there is Roti Wale Baba at Govardhan. There's Panjiri Baba at Yamuna. He will give like this. And it will not get over only. He had this siddhi. And then people were so impressed by this magical feat. Because chamatkar ko namaskar. You know? The material world is so some chamatkar, then people will do namaskar. So people used to come and touch his feet and give him a lot of respect because of the service he was doing, giving Panjiri Mahaprasad to everybody. And so he was doing it for the satisfaction of the devotees, for the satisfaction of Radha and Krishna. But as a result, he started getting a lot of respect. And he became very famous. Oh, Panjiri Wale Baba, Panjiri Wale, Siddha Purush, Siddha Purush. He has Siddhi. Like that people are talking. So he did a Leela. Once he was standing in Yamuna and chanting Yugal Nam, and a tortoise, you know, there are tortoises in Vrindavan. In Yamuna also, in Radhakund also there are tortoises. So one tortoise came and bit him on the leg. And it became infected. And he did not go to a doctor purposefully. He didn't go to a doctor. And that whole thing got infected. There were worms, pus, and the infection spread. He had fever, foul smell was coming. But he was continuing with his Panjiri Seva. But because he had a foul smell and he had pus coming out of his leg, people were so like disgust, put off by that sight, that smell. that they stopped coming. Nobody was taking panjiri, let alone touching his feet. People would come and touch feet, na? Because it is thought that if you touch the feet of a pure devotee, all your sins are gone. So people like to touch the feet of a saintly person, sadhu. Now nobody was coming to touch his feet, and nobody was coming to take his panjiri also. So he was laughing, and he was telling, but there were some faithful servants, disciples who never left him. So he was telling them, "Dekho, it is, I was getting attached to the prestige." He is very humble. He was saying that, listen to him. He was saying that devotees come and do Ashtanga Pranam to me. They do come, they do Ashtanga Pranam, they touch my feet and they take Panjiri and go. He said, I had become so proud that if someday somebody would come and do Panchanga Pranam, I would think, why he did Panchanga today? Why not Ashtanga? Is there some change in his faith in me? Have I become less attractive? Have I become less effulgent? He didn't think like that, but he's saying, I was thinking like that, because a devotee is very humble. So he said, now it is good. Now nobody comes near me, nobody respects me, and nobody is giving me the importance and the glorification. So I'm very happy. So this is perfection of service, where we are doing it only for the satisfaction of Krishna and the devotees, and we are not attached at all to anything that is coming with the service. Any pride, prestige, distinction, adoration. Usme nahi fasna hai. So we have to be very careful. We should do it for the pleasure of Krishna. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. That is the perfection of service, for the satisfaction of Krishna. And as far as enjoying the things that come with service, for example, you may make Rasgulla for Krishna. And Krishna, you offer it to Krishna and Radharani with love. Now, what do you do with that Rasgulla? You will give some to your family members and then some friends, but then you still have Rasgulla. So you eat it, it tastes very nice. So this question was asked. I have heard it in one class. And the answer was, this question was asked by one devotee called Mahaprabhu Prabhu of Bombay. He is no more. He left this world a year ago. Mahaprabhu Prabhu. He asked this question after Bhagavatam class in Radha Gopinath Mandir, and Maharaj replied that this type of enjoyment, for example, you attend and there is a nice kirtan, melodious, nice kirtan. So should we enjoy that music of the kirtan or should we not? There is wonderful prasad served in the temple on a Sharat Purnima night. Beautiful feast is there. So should we enjoy that or should we not enjoy that? So the answer is yes, we should certainly enjoy. And that enjoyment will not bind us. That enjoyment will liberate us, because it is enjoyment in relationship to Krishna, but our attitude should be that this is Krishna Prasad, this is Krishna. So Krishna is going to be tasty. This is not food. This is a food incarnation of Krishna. This Prasad is not different from Krishna. So we appreciate Krishna while eating Prasad. We relish it. Similarly, nice Kirtan is a manifestation of Mahaprabhu's potency. So we appreciate that. And we must enjoy it. We must take pleasure in that. When we hear Krishna Katha, we must take pleasure in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says, Mat chitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushchanti cha ramanti cha. Ramanti means enjoy. We enjoy Harikatha. So Harikatha should be enjoyed, it should be relished. Pibata Bhagavatam rasamalayam. How we cannot relish Bhagavatam? So it has to be enjoyed. So that is good, but we should do it in a spirit of serving. For example, Śrīmad Ayendra Prabhu would say, when delicious, tasty prasad is kept before us, we should not think, and Śrīmad Ayendra Prabhu would quote Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. This is the Vani of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, before you eat prasad, Krishna Prasad, Mahaprasad, Raj Bhog, tasty prasad, Chappan Bhog, we do Achaman before eating. In our culture, we do Achaman. What is the mood? That just like when before we go on the altar, we do Achaman. Before touching the Lord, we do Achaman. Similarly, before eating Krishna Prasad, before honoring Krishna Prasad, I have to be purified. So devotees take bath before eating Prasad. See Durvasa Muni, when he was invited for Prasad, first they would take bath and come. Mahaprabhu also, before lunch, if Jagadananda Pandit invites Mahaprabhu, if Advaita Acharya, if our Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya invites Mahaprabhu for lunch, Mahaprabhu would say, okay, you cook, I will go to the ocean, take my bath and then come. See, In the Shastra, why like this? Because we are honoring prasad. So just like before we go on the altar to serve the Lord, we bathe, we do achaman, we become purified, and then we do that service. Similarly, it is called prasada seva. Prasadam is honored. Krishna worship, bathing him, doing nice shringar, dressing him up nicely. And Krishna prasad is honored and worshipped grahan karne se, by accepting it, by eating it. So that should be the consciousness, that I am doing prasad seva. Like we do Shri Vigraha seva, we do Nam seva, we do prasad seva. Then we can enjoy. This is Krishna who has come. But the attitude is, oh, this is Krishna in the form of prasad. He has come to purify me. My senses are uncontrolled. Jadendriya tahekal jivhe faile vishaya sagare tar madhe jivhati. Lobho maya sudurmati. I am lobhi, I have got durmati, I am so uncontrolled senses I have got, and the tongue is especially uncontrolled. Krishna bada dayamaya. Kari bare jivha jaye. Swa prasad anna dilo bhai. Oh brother, oh bhai, Krishna has given me swa prasad, his own prasad he has given me. Say anna amrita pao, it's amrit pao. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Guna Gao. If you are enjoying the prasad while singing Radha Krishna Guna, nothing is wrong. Like Mahaprabhu would say, oh ho ho, this shak is so good, I am sure Krishna has enjoyed this. Oh, this sweet is so good, Krishna must have enjoyed this. If that is the mood, while we are honoring prasad, relishing prasad, while Radha Krishna Guna Gao, Preme Dako, Chaitanya Nitai. With love you shout, Jai Chaitanya Nitai, Jai Chaitanya Nitai. We can eat. Like that. In Marathi also they say, Vadani Kavala Gheta, Nama Ghya Shri Hariche. While taking each morsel of food, you chant Hari, 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 like that. So if that is the attitude, then we can enjoy Kirtan, we can enjoy Prasad, we can enjoy Krishna Katha, we can enjoy friendship of devotees. Devotees are enjoying. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipadam. We don't have to be morose and sad. This is a process of happiness. Susukham kartum avyayam in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says. So like that. We should be happy, but the attitude is important. If the happiness, the enjoyment is that I am the enjoyer, I am the bhokta, then we are finished. Then we are finished. Oh, Krishna is the bhokta. So to quote Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, very amazing. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada would say that we don't enjoy the prasad. The prasad enjoys us. Now for prasad to enjoy us, our consciousness should be good, our body should be clean, and we are doing seva by accepting it. So the prasad has to enjoy us. So like that. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Attitude is all important. Hare Krishna.
And one point about the choice of service. If the devotee has some choice of service, that is maybe like he finds, I am doing this service nicely to Krishna, so let me take this. That is the intention, or how? Or
for choice of service, there are two things. Our inclinations, what is our inclination, what is our talent, and what Shri Guru wants. Both boxes need a check mark. Both need a tick mark. For example, we may like to do something, but the spiritual master may want us to do some other service at that time. So then we should not do what we want. Both the boxes have to be checked. Our inclination, our capacity, our talent, and our comfort level, and Shri Guru's desire. If we are told to do some service for which we are not very competent or very interested, then we should tell, and the spiritual master will understand. I'll give you a beautiful example. Have you heard of His Grace Jayananda Prabhu, Rath Yatra? Everybody knows Jayananda Prabhu. Jayananda Prabhu was told by Srila Prabhupada to go to India and preach in India. Now, Jayananda Prabhu, his nature was very different. No? He was a handyman. He liked to fix things. He liked to build carts and earn money by driving his cab and give 100% of his income to the San Francisco temple. That was his mood. So Prabhupada said, you can go to India and you can become a temple president there in India. So Jayananda Prabhu said, Prabhupada, that is not my inclination. I want to stay in San Francisco and serve here. Prabhupada said, okay, no problem. You do that. Like that. So Prabhupada gave blessings also. And that was his inclination. That was his talent. So he continued so nicely, he performed, and then he went back to Godhead also. So like that, both the things should be satisfied. Our comfort level, our talent, our inclination, and the permission and the blessings of the spiritual master. Both should be there. Then we can choose a service, not independently.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'll give you one more example. There is a brahmachari, I will not name him, but we all know him. When he was 23 years old, he joined when he was 22 years old. He graduated engineering from IIT and he joined the ashram. And when he was 23 years old, means 1 year into brahmachari ashram, he was giving Hindi mein Bhagavat Saptaha in Bharati Vidya Bhavan. And thousands of people were coming. And then he also appeared on the TV, on the Atma serial, and speaking in Hindi very eloquently, very young age, 23, 24. And then his spiritual master said, I have to protect you from pride. So now 10 years, no giving lecture, no putting your lectures on ISKCON Desire Tree also. You just cook in the kitchen. And he was so talented, he cooked in the kitchen and came out with a cookbook and became a very expert cook. Then Maharaj said, now you have to expand this and you cook in the yatras for thousands of devotees. So he created mega kitchen, ISKCON mega kitchen, and the National Geographic came and made a documentary on that. Whatever he would touch, he would make it into gold. Then Maharaj said, okay, good. Now you go to Govardhanaka village and you set up Govardhanaka village. So he was sent to Govardhana Vada. There was nothing there. And he created Govardhanaka village. Then Maharaj said, this is very good. Now you create a university for devotees where devotees can learn. So he created Vidyapit, Bhaktivedanta Vidyapit. He created devotees like Gaurang Darshan Prabhu and other devotees. Such nice preaching is going on. Then Maharaj said, now you can teach. Now you can give classes to the brahmachari. So why? Because young age, so empowered, such a nice preacher, but Maharaj wanted to protect him from pride. So then Maharaj was asked, Maharaj, why did you hide him for so many years? So Maharaj said, now listen, Maharaj said that when I was hiding him from the world for almost 1.5 decades in hardcore service, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that. He's like an arrow. And I was pulling him back, pulling him back, pulling him back, pulling him back, only to release him. And the more you pull back, the farther the arrow goes. But whereas if we are too much in a hurry to release the arrow, it will not go far. But khicho usko achhe se, pull him all the way, and then you release. Then the arrow will go far. So hide somebody, to hide somebody's bhajan, it is to protect. You're pulling him back, pulling him, and then when you release, then he very useful devotee. Very great services can be performed. Very mature devotee, very deep devotee, can guide and inspire so many people like that. So service should be done with the blessings and permission and empowerment of the spiritual master. They gave this example. So like that. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Okay, Narahari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, I have a question. Sometimes I hear that Cupid, he has 5 different kinds of arrows.
Yes.
Can you please explain this concept, Prabhu?
Prabhuji, I have read it in Chaitanya Bhagavat Purport by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It is agitation, madness, restlessness, like that. 5 characteristics are there in this bewilderment. In these 5 ways, Buddhi Nashat Pranashyati. Cupid makes us fall down, makes us a victim. But the exact, I don't know, but it is like that. Agitation, bewilderment, restlessness. These are the 5 arrows of Cupid. Some authors also say that Cupid attacks us through the 5 flower arrows by causing agitation through the 5 senses, 5 Jnanendriyas. Shabda, Sparsha, Roop, Rasa, Gandha. Like that. Sense of touch, hearing tinkling bells. Vishwamitra Muni fell with the tinkling bells of Menaka. Some fall down by the sight. Something is very beautiful. Some fall by touch. Like that. Some by the fragrance. So like that. Different through the 5 Jnanendriyas, Cupid attacks us with the 5 arrows of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha to agitate and cause lust. Is that okay, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Shama Kishori Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, you mentioned about Durvasa Muni and you said that he was the guru of Krishna. I had not heard this before. And then in the story of Ambarish Maharaj, where, he had gone to Lord Vishnu and, or it was Durvasa, right? Durvasa Muni.
Yeah.
And then Lord Vishnu told him to go back to Ambarish Maharaj. So how can you treat your guru like that? I mean, aren't you supposed to be reverential towards your guru?
Hare Krishna. Very, very beautiful question, Mataji. So, listen to this. This is very, very beautiful. Any sadhu, Krishna is performing Narvat Leela. So, in a public place, in front of the gopis, in front of others, Krishna will call Narad Muni also as guru. Because they are sadhus. They are supposed to be the guru of the grihasthas. Krishna is Narvat Leela. He is human-like pastime. He is playing the role of a grihastha. Durvasa Muni is a sannyasi. So he is a guru for all the grihasthas. So in a public place, Krishna will call them guru. Even Narad Muni, when Narad Muni comes in Dwarka,
Yes.
in the 16,108 palaces, Krishna treats him as guru, washes his feet and everything. But in private, Krishna allows them to worship him as a Supreme Lord. So when Durvasa Muni approached Krishna alone, Krishna treated him as a servant. I am God, you are servant. I am Bhagwan, you are Bhakta. Aparadhi. Punished him. But in a public place, Krishna will treat all the sadhus as God. Like Narad Muni also. And in private, Narad Muni offers prayers. When Narad Muni went to meet Radharani, when Radharani was born, he knocked on the door of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. So in front of Vrishabhanu Maharaj, nothing. As soon as Vrishabhanu Maharaj left and the door was closed, he offered Shashtanga, Dandavat Pranam to Radharani, offered beautiful prayers. Like that is one. So because Durvasa Muni is a sannyasi, Krishna is a grihastha in Narvat Leela, he is telling the gopis that, oh, our Guruji has come. My Guruji has come, like that, Durvasa Muni. Now, as far as Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj is concerned, that is very, very sweet, Mataji. Now, this is not in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, but this is the realization of one very great Acharya. He was saying, he said, this is my realization. Very, very sweet. Very sweet. One of the most heart-touching things I've heard in my whole life. If you read Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, it is described that Ambarish Maharaj's devotional service was very, very pure. It is described that Savai Manah Krishna Padara Vindayo Vacham Shivaikuntha Gunanu Varanane. Always thinking of Krishna with his mind, with his words, he was chanting the names of Krishna, with his all his senses were engaged in Krishna's service. With his hands, he was marjanam, he was cleaning. With his nose, he was smelling tulsi, offered at the lotus feet. With his body, he was embracing devotees. So like that, with his legs, he was walking to the temple of Krishna. All his senses were engaged in Krishna's service. Krishna was very pleased with the devotion of Durvasa Muni, with the devotion of Ambarish Maharaj. So Krishna appeared before Ambarish Maharaj. This is mentioned in Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And Krishna told Ambarish Maharaj that I am very pleased with your bhakti. My Sudarshan Chakra is always there with you to protect you. Don't worry. My Sudarshan Chakra will always be with you to protect you. Krishna blessed him and then left. But Durvasa Muni saw, but Ambarish Maharaj saw, beg your pardon, Ambarish Maharaj saw that Krishna, Lord Vishnu, is Chaturbhuj. And he is holding Shankha Chakra Padma Gada in his four hands. The chakra is with Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu went to Vaikuntha after giving darshan and blessing him. So this sadhu was saying that Ambarish Maharaj got a doubt in his heart that Krishna said that his Sudarshan Chakra is with me always to protect me. Maybe he meant it that, if I need I can always call for the Sudarshan Chakra, or he will come very quickly. He will send a chakra very quickly. But he didn't mean it literally, that the Sudarshan Chakra is with me in my kingdom at all time. Bhagavatam says this, that Krishna said, my Sudarshan Chakra is with you always. He gave his Sudarshan Chakra to Ambarish Maharaj. But at the same time, Vishnu is always with the Sudarshan Chakra. So Ambarish Maharaj got a doubt that maybe Krishna said just like that to encourage me. His Sudarshan Chakra is not actually, factually with me. It is with him. But that's okay. Ambarish Maharaj thought like that. That's okay. I will continue with my devotion. But he got this doubt in the words of Krishna, that Sudarshan Chakra is with you, Ambarish. Now, Krishna knew, Krishna understood that my dear devotee Ambarish Maharaj has developed a doubt in my words, that my Sudarshan Chakra is with him at all times. So Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna called the greatest devotee, Vaishnavana Metha Shambhu, that is Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni is an amsha of Lord Shiva. That is also mentioned in Bhagavatam. Somadev is the partial incarnation of Brahmaji. Dattatreya is incarnation of Vishnu, and Durvasa Muni is incarnation of Shivji. So he called Durvasa Muni, who is non-different from Shivji and the greatest devotee. And Lord Vishnu told Durvasa Muni that, my dear Durvasa, you are such a great devotee of mine. There is another devotee of mine called Ambarish Maharaj, and he has developed a doubt in my words that my Sudarshan Chakra is with him at all times. Please go और उसे विश्वास दिला दो. Go and make him have faith that my Sudarshan Chakra is actually with him. So that's why Durvasa Muni came on the banks of Yamuna and did that whole leela of cursing and creating that demon, getting angry at Ambarish Maharaj, just so that another devotee, Ambarish Maharaj, could have faith in Krishna's words, that yes, when Krishna says my Sudarshan is with you, I give my Sudarshan to you, he's actually given. Chakra was right there to protect him. This is very beautiful. You like this? This reflection of this.
Wonderful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for sharing this sweet realization. Thank you. I wasn't aware that Durvasa Muni is a great devotee, because in all the stories you have just heard that, he's a very, a sage who gets angry, but good to know this perspective that he's actually a great devotee of the Lord.
See, Durvasa Muni is such a great devotee that he has the power to benedict Śrīmati Radharani.
Yes.
He is the one who blessed Radharani that whatever you cook will be Amrit. And when Yashoda Maya came to know, then she would invite Radharani every day to come to Nanda Bhavan and cook for Krishna.
Yes.
That is the power of Durvasa Muni. He can bless Radharani. So,
Thank you.
So he's a very confidential servant. Durvasa Muni is a confidential servant of Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Let me just quickly look at the chat box. Can you please explain how to do Achaman? So Achaman Mata, you just take water in a cup, you put your middle finger and say, Gange Chamune Chaiva Godavari Saraswati Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalasmin Sannidhim Kuru. Invite the water of all the holy rivers. With your left hand, with the ladle, you put water in the right hand. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Put it water down. Om Narayana Namaha. Put it down. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Put it down, and then put water and Om Govindaya Namaha and let it down. So I will send you a book, a PDF I will share with you where all this is explained. It is called the Vaishnava Etiquette Manual, and there is an appendix on deity worship. In that, Achaman is described. So you can learn how to perform Achaman. There are two types of Achaman. There is Sadharan Achaman and there is Vishesha Achaman. Sadharan Achaman is done at home, but when you do some service in the temple, you have to do Vishesha Achaman, where all the limbs of the body are purified through Achaman. Okay? Divya Mataji, so you just send me a message, I will share that PDF with you. Vaishnava Etiquette Manual. Okay, if there are no more questions, we can stop here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki Jai. Okay, so some devotees are asking. So I'll just put it on the group then. I'll put it on our group so everybody can get. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Actually, wait. See, Jaikumar Prabhu has shared it. Just click on that link. That is the link for the Vaishnava Etiquette Manual. He shared the link to the PDF from ISKCON Desire Tree. Everybody clicked on it? Can I end the meeting? Okay.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Jai
I will
Shri.
send it to the group, Prabhuji, so that they have it for each other.
Thank you, Ajay Guru. Thank you. Hare Krishna.